Hello, my name is Connor, and today we are going to be talking about my 5 favorite EPs from March 2025. This is my 3rd video in this series, and if you want to check out some of those others, I'll probably have a link in the description if you're so interested. There have been so many fantastic mini albums coming out from Japan this year specifically that I think I might even need like a part 2 to this March one maybe, just because there's just so much good stuff. So I believe that's everything I had to cover in this very short intro. So let's talk about the first EP, which is from a band that I can hardly pronounce the name of on my first try, but I'm gonna try it now. Yureruwayurei. And the name of the album is also a little hard to pronounce as well. I think it's mnemeoid? Mnemeoid. Mnemeoid. It's called mnemeoid, I think. So this is an awesome little noise rock and shoegaze, post-rock sort of sampler of this band's style, and I have to say it is fantastic, and I think it might be my favorite release of the month, though there's a lot of close seconds there. I think to me, this EP sounds a lot like the full album from the band Kinoko Teikoku, which is called Eureka. And not only does it sound sort of similar, the cover of the album is like maybe an homage in some way. I think this is a pretty well-paced project, and this also extends to the length of the songs as well. And for example, I love the slow, gradual build-up on the opening song called Bore no Kimi. And then of course, because of that build-up too, the payoff is like a nice feel-good payoff. I love how it just explodes. And also, I really like the vocalist of the band too. So I think it's really because of the way she sings. However, she also talks a lot throughout some of the songs too. And I would say that it's in the same way that Fuki from Zafalo sings in sort of soliloquies too. As far as the instrumentation goes, it sounds heavy and just laborious. And I love that. And that is exactly what I want in my shoegaze. I am a very firm believer in like shoegaze needs to sound heavy, and there also just needs to be like constant sound coming at you, and that is really what you get here. My favorite song without a doubt would be the one called Gei Kotsu Gunshu. I just love the fantastic guitar twang here. I love the lyrics too, and it really sounds like it could be something from the first album by Trico, who I love, so I am just all in for this song, and I love the way it just comes alive in that second half too. Oh god, this is such good shoegaze. Oh, this is so good. Oh, I like it a lot. Absolutely fantastic, and I feel like the band really know what they're doing and really know how to make fantastic rock. So with that said, I'm giving this a 2 thumbs up. It is very good, and like I said, I think if you like very heavy Japanese rock, you will be all about it. The next EP I want to cover is from the artist Ohzora Kimishima, and the name of it is otonosuruheya, which means like the sound making room, or like the room in which sound is being made in. I think my first interpretation is a little bit more colloquial, I think. So I gotta say, this album is hella weird and all over the place. And for that reason, it was even hard to figure out what kind of genre I should consider this. I think upon reflection, I would honestly just call this like every genre, because there is so much happening on every song throughout every song that I don't think you can really even nail down like 3 separate genres to confine this album to, because it is just all encompassing like all the time. And so for that reason, I feel like it's almost easier to describe the album via similar artists. So with that said, I think this sounds like Hakushi Hasegawa mixed with like Millennium Parade. You might get what I'm kind of coming from here. My favorite song on this EP is called Wake. It's spelled W-E-Y-K. I think I got that right. And this is like a pop punk song the majority of the time. But man, do I love this song. I think it just has this awesome sound palette, and the groove is immaculate on here too. The next song after this one is actually called Death Metal Cheesecake, and it sounds like a mix of like a Final Fantasy boss theme and also a Machine Girls song. So like I said, you can't really nail down genres here. This song is a lot of fun too. It truly goes places, and you really have to experience it for yourself to know what the hell I'm talking about here. I think you need to listen to this just so you can like kind of expand your horizons, because this is really probably not like anything else you've like heard in its current form. It is 22 minutes long. It might as well be a whole very short album. Absolutely fantastic. Please go check this out. It is so crazy. It is so fun. and you can just really explore the music as you listen to it, I feel like. This one also getting 2 thumbs up. Not that this is like any kind of rating scale, it's just how I'm feeling, you know? So next up is the EP called Seasons by the band Ray. So Ray is a Japanese idol group that is really starting to grow in popularity in Japan and also internationally too. I mean, for instance, I know about them. And I mean, like, I don't really listen to idol pop much at all, but I like them. And I would say that that's because this band is not just idol pop. They also mix in a lot of like shoegaze and noise rock, and that really interests me. As a matter of fact, they have actually worked with a very popular shoegaze guitarist named Ohzora Kimishima from the band For Tracy Hyde and also April Blue. Okay, no. Hear me out. I know there are other idol pop group bands that are very much like metal and hard rock, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, those are popular and those are fine, and I have no problem with those. But I'm not really a fan of like baby metal or, sorry, Bandmade per se. I think they're fine, I just don't listen to them. But for that reason, I think if you do like those bands, you would really like the first song on here because it is very heavy rock while still technically being a pop song. And I think for me, what really sets them apart from the competition is the fact that they play with live musicians on stage. Not all the time, but man, seemingly a lot of the time. And so for that reason, they sound more like a proper band more so than like a whole idol outfit, you know? And if you're wondering who my favorite member is, it is obviously Yua Uchiyama, and that is also because she makes music reviews too, and I just think that's super fun, and she likes shoegaze, and I'm like, I like shoegaze, oh, that's so cool. I think she actually reviewed like a Modest Mouse album recently or something like that, like someone from Seattle, and I just kind of blushed. I was like, oh my god, wow. So anyway, one of my favorite songs on here is called Upside Down, and this is more akin to a glitch pop, bedroom pop song, but I still really like its inclusion on this album, though it sounds not a lot like the rest of the songs here. I thought the production was very lively and also really reminded me of Owl City, who I've talked about liking a lot in the past, and I'm never gonna stop, sorry. One last thing I want to mention is the final song, A Winter Letter PS, or at least that's what it's called in English. I love the sound and sense of finality on this song that is delivered by the piano arpeggio here. It is so great. It suits the whole project so well, and I love it to death. I just think it's so dark and foreboding, but then also at the same time, is it? Yeah, I just really like this. And I just find that it is some like classic shoegaze, like classic. This is like 80s shoegaze. Love it so much. EP number 4 on our list is titled Farewell Gas, and it is by the artist PostmodernHippie. So from what I can tell, this artist is actually Chinese. However, he sings in Japanese, and also this EP features lots of other Japanese artists too, so I'm calling it Japanese music. Much like that other EP I talked about previously, this is all over the place. I find that sometimes it's a little jazzy, and then other times it is experimental rocky. One thing I will say is I'm never bored. There is always something happening here. I feel like if you like the math rock band Elephant Gym, you would like a lot happening here, not only because of the language they're speaking, but also because it is very rocky with a very heavy jazz undertone as well, though it is also very electronic too. So for me, I find this EP to be very soundtrack-esque, and I think that's because the featured artists really inject a certain sense of narrative to the EP itself. And then on top of their work, PostmodernHippie just has this very nice accompanying instrumental that I think really accommodates their features well. I think this EP really features a nice mixture of sounds and styles here, and I would say that it really feels like a proper project for that reason. You get a very artsy rock, jazz, electronic album condensed down to only 19 minutes, and honestly, that's really impressive, I think. I think my favorite song has been really hard to actually nail down, though lately I've been coming around to the one called To the Sunlit Waves. I think for me, there is just something really cathartic about the sound of the waves and also the Japanese crossing lights at the beginning. It just really is very evocative memory-wise, and I like that a lot, and it's a cool soundscape. And whew, as I talk about it, I just like it more and more, I think. All right, last but not least, we have the new EP from the artist AAAMYYY, and it is called the Thanks EP. AAAMYYY is actually one of the members of the pop, jazz, neo-soul trio called Temple. And something I found especially enjoyable about her music is that she is incredibly proficient at English, and she uses it very frequently on this EP. And on top of all that too, she has a fantastic voice, and I would say that that is the case for her singing as well as her rapping across this entire project. And I have to talk about this, oh my god. There is some absolutely fantastic production on here. Like, it's actually incredible. It just has a fantastic variety with, I feel like, what is an emphasis on like hip hop and trap production. But I do have one absolutely awful thing that I need to admit. I love the hip hop duo Chelmiko. In fact, I rated their last album a 10 out of 10. And if you want to see that video, it's right here. And so Chelmiko is featured on the first song. I don't like the first song. You can skip it. I think this is the definition of what I would call a dud. Frankly, you can skip it. It's okay. I'm sorry. But man, everything else is like, wow, levels of amazing. All of the rest of the songs are just such a vibe and so catchy, and I love them all. And I think the features are extremely well chosen too, and they really play off Amy's whole style just incredibly well. Like, for instance, I am a huge fan of Chinza Dopeness, and I love his song. I think my favorite song though is probably the one called Savior featuring Monjoe. I don't know this artist, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. On this song in particular, I just think that Amy's rapping, singing, as well as the production is all like 10 out of 10 level quality. And I really do love this EP, which is why I'm so sad that Chelmiko song just wasn't as great as I thought it would be. It hurts me so much. But overall, I think if you like hip hop infused with some pop sensibilities, you are going to love this EP too. It is legitimately fantastic. And yeah, with that said, that is everything I had to cover. Pretty big month. There were some pretty big names and a lot of stuff that I have been waiting on. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you again in the April edition of this. Or if you'd like to hear from me sooner, you can check out any of my other videos. I'd like that, and frankly, I think you would too. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you around on the internet. Bye-bye.